And today we continue to talk about street art, and I want to invite our dear volunteer Hubert, who will tell you about street art in Brussels. So, Hubert, your presentation.
Доброго дня, мене звати Hubert. Я з Брюсселя, з Бельгії, але я француз. Але today I will present you a bit of street art in Brussels. At the beginning, when I was younger, the only street art that I knew was mostly this graffitis in the streets that I found quite ugly. It's not really a nice way to decorate the town, I thought. But then in 2014, when I first came to Ukraine, I discovered that it's a mural in Kyiv that I discovered. And later I learned that it was actually financed by the French association, Alliance Française. So it's a bit of France that you can see in Kyiv, and I really liked it. So those are my photos, and I actually saw it being painted in April 2014. That was a great moment. And if we speak about Brussels, in Brussels you will find a lot of street art objects, and especially murals all over Brussels, a bit like something like 100, maybe 200 murals everywhere around Brussels. And it's actually part of our city culture tour. You can visit Brussels through the murals. It's normally a 3 hours walk for each thematic walk that you have. And here I will just present you 2 thematic aspects of murals, one associated with classic art, and the second one with comic books. So if we talk about classic art, here is Peter Bruegel. This is a world-known painter that was born in Brussels, and he was raised in a specific area called Marolles. And Marolles is still existing nowadays, and in his honor, they decided to paint 12 different murals all around the area. And I will present you a few ones. The first one here is Peter Bruegel itself on the left part of the slide. And you can see that it's really like the painter. The second one is probably, at least for me, this is how I know Peter Bruegel. It was in my history book when I was 13, and this is something that is representing the Christ and the Tower of Babel. And on the right side you have the mural that you can find in Brussels that is inspired by this painting. Only it's modernized, it's a bit stylized with modern colors and modern style. The second painting that I want to show you is a good representation of what Peter Bruegel brought to paint, to the painting culture, which is painting normal people. Until now, in the history of painting, it was the subject of painting were more religious things, like always sceneries of the Bible or things like this. Here we change completely the topic, and it's more the main actors are normal people. So on the left side is Peter Bruegel's painting. On the right side, the mural that you can find. And it's really, again, inspired, only God knows why, but rats replace dogs, and the hunters that are coming back to the village are carrying fire. Another one, that's like the last one that I will show you, the parable of la parabole du berger, sorry, in French. So you see this man carrying on Peter Bruegel's painting. It's not painting, it's a drawing. The man carries a lamp that is protecting, that is guarding, whereas on the mural, the lamp is replaced, ironically, by a fox, which is the enemy of the lamp normally. Again, very stylized picture. The second aspect of street art and murals in Brussels is linked to the fact that in Brussels, you can find a lot of comic books. You have a lot of shops where you can sell, buy, or exchange comic books. You really have fairs only with comic books. It's really a tradition here. And everybody, you have a lot, I have a lot of friends that have collections of comic books of any kind. And so I will show you now how Brussels is decorated with murals and how it relates with comic books. The first one is an old character born in 1926 and drawn by Hergé. This is Tintin. This is this guy, the blonde guy here. He's a journalist and he's traveling all around the world and he's getting adventure everywhere. And his friend here is Captain Haddock, and the dog here is Milou. On the right side of the picture of the slide, you can see the mural dedicated to Tintin and Milou. It's very vertical mural, and you can recognize very well the characters. The next character, it's Shaflivy Chick Kid, or Lucky Luke, is known as the fastest cowboy in the far west of the United States. He can actually shoot quicker than his shade and his shadow. And you can see here on this mosaic that he's always winning. On the mural on the left side of the slide, you can see Lucky Luke with Rantanplan, the dog, and the Dalton brothers that are actually thieves. They are 4 brothers stealing money in all the banks, and normally Lucky Luke is chasing them all over the places. And the name of the horse here, this is Lucky Luke's horse, and his name is Jolly Jumper. Another character that you can find in Brussels is Asterix, actually Asterix and Obelix, which are little French characters, French citizens, living at the time of the Roman Empire and fighting against Julius Caesar. The fact is they are the last village, they live in the last village that is resisting against the Roman Empire. Why are they resisting? Because they have with them a magic potion that makes them invincible. And each time they fight, this is what the mural shows here, they are going to fight the Romans, and usually they win. Well, not usually, all the time they win, thanks to this potion. And you can see this little dog, it's called Idefix. And even him, he can bite Romans, and always a good fun. This, and as you can see, it exists also in Ukrainian. So maybe you can find the book and enjoy the cartoon. Some other murals that you can find in Brussels with Gaston Lagaffe, which is probably the laziest and the clumsiest press editor of the Belgian press, Belgian newspapers. You can see here how he parks his car, never well. This is typical of his clumsiness. And here, the mural, where he plays with a yo-yo. And this guy here is actually his boss. So not very nice of him to just play on his boss. Probably you know in French what we call Schtroumpf, and in English what is the Smurf. And in Brussels, evidently we have like mural. It's actually a rooftop painting, and we have also a statue with the Smurfs. Actually, behind them they have like exposition hall, and part of the hall is just dedicated to the Smurfs. And we still have a lot of them. Here you can see La Vache, the cow, which is a quite modern cartoon. This one is Ricochet. It's another, like it's a secret agent normally, and you can see him in the mural, very realistic mural, where you feel like he's entering a real window. Here is a pirate called Le Scorpion. It's again another cartoon character that you can see on the mural in Brussels. It's actually very close to the town center here. And this is an older guy, which is called Boulet Bill. On here again, this personage is Spirou, this one is Torgal, and finally Broussaille here, and Food and Stoof, which are two dogs that are really playing with people, and I quite like this mural. That's very realistic again. They are hiding the fact that they are closing the building and the windows, and they have been painting realistic characters inside the windows. And that ends my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hubert. And I have just a few short questions, because your presentation was really fantastic and inspired me. So do you have famous murals?
Famous murals? What do you mean? Because I showed you the main ones, the most famous ones, and with the most famous characters. The fact is, it's not like you go and see only one mural. We have, as I said, walking tours around Brussels, and you go and you look at them. We have different tours. One is with architecture. We have Gabriel Horta, that is a famous architect, and you can have a tour with all the buildings that he has built in Brussels. And you have tours in different places of Brussels, where you can see, you can admire those murals. My favorite one is Asterix and Obelix, of course, but it's not really in town center. It's a bit remote. It's not. You have to look for it to see it. In town center, you have this Tintin that is very close. and a few of them that I showed already. Like Lucky also is very close.
So as I understand, you like maybe comic books, so mural about Asterix, so interesting for you.
Because it's like it's also not a new character. It's part of my youth also. When I was young, I learned German, for example, reading Asterix in bilingual version. We bought, like the teacher made us buy a book of Tintin and Obelix, and one version was in French and one version was in German. And it was a nice way of starting when you are 14 to read in German.
And did you see all these murals in real life, not only on pictures, but in the city?
Not all of them, because there are so many of them, but a fair share of the murals I've seen them in real. Yeah, I didn't take a picture. I should have, but I was lacking time.
So for us, it's chance to visit Brussels and have a short travel to your country.
Definitely. When you are a kid, I think it's more interesting to visit Brussels through the murals that depicts some cartoon characters, even if they don't know them very well. It's still a lot more fun than just going and watch one building after the other, one church, and then one building that you don't understand. So no, it's very nice. And the tours, actually, they are very nicely organized as well.
Great. So thank you very much. It was really interesting and very fulfilling. So we will share this presentation with our teams, with our kids and teachers. So I think it will be very interesting for all of our teams.
Great. I hope it will be a good incentive to come to Brussels and visit all very nice town that is Brussels. Like it's known for being the capital of Europe, but there are a lot more things to do in Brussels than just visiting the European area.
Yeah, of course. So thank you very much.
Thanks for listening.
And we hope that in future you will tell something interesting about your country in the next projects.